And good afternoon. Welcome to the Patio Series from St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. I'm Brian Way. It's good to be with you. I hope that you're doing well and that you're safe. On this suddenly beautiful afternoon here in St. John's, today's guest I first met nearly 30 years ago when we were both entertaining, and he's been doing it ever since. Please welcome Arthur O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody watching at home and everybody watching this later. It's nice to be here. And this finally it was kind of like dull here all afternoon. And then as soon as you started to play, it just brightened up and warmed. The deck just warmed right up. How nice, well timed. So I think I'm gonna do one of my own songs right off the bat. Well, thank you for having me, by the way, Brian. And
It's a pleasure.
I've been watching lots of episodes along the way and noticing the elements you've been standing up out here, and you're a brave bunch. Well, I'm going to do this song. It was written about 10 years ago now, and I wrote this after I'd had a conversation with a farmer in Saskatchewan. We were on tour, and he was telling me he was going fishing. And I was like, we're on the prairies. How's that possible? Anyway, I got the pen to paper, and it became about any Newfoundlander that might be out in the West looking for work. 2, 3, 4. Fishing on the prairies after the fish is gone. Don't care for the weather, longs for the fog. Dreams of boyhood days, hauling traps and setting trawl, heading out away each day, springtime to the fall. Catching fish was never easy, hard work for boy and man, but the winds are warm and breezy, and it's blowing off the land. It's hard to leave the island for a place that he can't stand, and a part of him is dying, pulling off from the sand. Old people say don't worry, he can't have it all in a place like Fort McMurray or Fort Saskatchewan. In his mind he lingers, in his heart he's there, out in a skiff with his dad, far away from here. Catching fish never easy, hard work for boy and man, but the wind's so warm and breezy, and it's blowing off the land. You know it's hard to leave the island for a place that he can't stand, and a part of him is dying, pulling off from the sand. Now each day he looks across, and the sky is everywhere, and he looks out at the stars, and the nights are oh so clear. It reminds him of the ocean, though it's far away from here. He'll never ever leave it. One day he'll go back there. Catching fish was never easy, hard work for boy and man, but the wind's so warm and breezy, and it's blowing off the land. You know it's hard to
Yeah.
Thank you. People are clapping. People are clapping. We have an audience. They're spread out, socially distanced throughout this East End neighborhood.
A smattering of applause.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone. So I'm gonna. I think I'm doing dance and sing next. So that one I wrote 10 years ago. This is a song I wrote closer around 30 years ago. So this is probably one of the oldest songs I ever wrote. And the first song I ever wrote that I was confident enough to record. I'd written a few other things that I was like, okay, these are not strong enough to go on an album, and at least they weren't strong enough to go on our first album. Maybe they showed up on later albums. They became stronger over the years. But this is the first one. I was like, okay, this is good enough to put on an album, and I shouldn't claim the complete rights because I actually co-wrote this song with a friend of mine from Germany. I was over and visiting, and he had this line he was working on. It was, I can't dance, I can't sing, I can't play anything. While he's playing the piano, and we're both nursing hard heads from the night before at the disco because he was dancing himself. I'm like, okay, this song is not exactly the most truthful thing. We actually be honest about this, Marcus, and let's write a song that's more happy. And so I turned it around and it became, I can dance, I can sing, I can play most anything. So Brian's all ready for the intro here. So if you're home now with your dancing shoes on and you're not too close to anyone,
Get off the couch.
give her. Yes.
Yes, Marcus.
2, 3, 2. Said that it was over. That was how it is. Felt my heart go colder. It never gave an inch. She knew that it was warm, and that was no surprise. You seemed to take me over when I looked into your eyes. 'Cause I can dance, I can sing, I can play most anything, but I'm still left with some guy till I'm in your arms again. Take my hand, take my ring, presents I will bring. Oh, I'm the guy I like to dance, I like to sing. Oh, for weeks I went strolling, but you were never there. You never left a message, no, I guess you didn't care. Well, every day I find that I'm living in a lie. I wanna know the truth of it, I wanna ask you why. 'Cause I can dance, I can sing, I can play most anything, but I'm still that lonesome guy till I'm in your arms again. Take my hand, take my ring, presents I will bring. Oh, I'm a guy, I like to dance, I like to sing. Trip, I went halfway around the world, trying to forget that little girl. Now everywhere I look, she is always here. How am I gonna live without you, little girl? 'Cause I can dance, I can sing, I can play most anything. I'm still the lonesome guy till I'm in your arms again. Take my hand, take my ring, presents I will bring. Oh, I'm a guy, I like to dance, I like to sing. I can dance, I can sing, I can play most anything. I'm still the lonesome guy till I'm in your arms again. Take my hand, take my ring, presents I will bring. Oh, I'm a guy, I like to dance, I like to sing. I'm a guy, I like to dance, I like to sing. I'm a guy, I like to dance, I like to sing. Thank you.
Endings are us.
Oh yeah. We're playing it like we've been playing this
For 20
all day.
minutes.
Fantastic. It's nice. I'm sitting halfway through that song. Maybe I should have just selected a bunch of songs that Brian couldn't go look up and learn, and he'd actually had to go and rearrange some of this stuff, so I'd have my next album half done, and the piano tracks done, and figured out, and then I'll get you as a guest star on the next album. Right? But that was great. That's so much fun. It brings new light having a different player, and it's nice to have that intro. I'm missing intros on songs because it's hard to do both with the guitar. And so I'm going to do a song by one of my favorite songwriters, Canadian songwriters of all time, Stan Rogers. But I like Brian's been after learning this song, relearning this song. He said he noticed that there's a bit of Lightfoot, Gordon Lightfoot influence there, and it's cool because Stan was also a big Gordon Lightfoot fan. So this has been a song that I actually recorded on my first solo album, and it's been a song that's been in my repertoire since day one. And I know I sing in a baritone like Stan, and well, if you listen to Stan's original recording, some of the piano playing on it, and all the playing on it is amazing. So I thought this would be a great one to have Brian join me on. So I'm gonna make sure I'm in two with you, because I'm using the old capo. See, we're used to recording shows at home and then editing out these tuning moments, and but I'll do this very quickly as I can with the sun shining down.
I'll just show that this is the most foot pedals we've ever had on the podcast.
Arthur's the heavyweight champion.
I have the talent pedal right there. As soon as I want talent, press right there.
I need to get one of those.
I have three of them. They never work for me, actually. Your soul's as bones of wind, broken stone, and the sea and the sky are warm. I'm caught all the time, my blood stained with wine, and I'm running naked in the sun. There's God in the trees, and I'm weak in the knees, and the sky is a painful blue. I like to look around, honey, all I see is you. City lights will soften the night till you think that the air is clear. I'm sitting with friends, 45 cents will buy another glass of beer. He's got something to say, but I'm so far away that I don't know who I'm talking to. You just walked in the door, honey, all I see is you. And I just wanna hold you closer than I've ever held anyone before. You say you've been twice a wife and you're through with life, but honey, what the hell's it for? After 23 years, you think I could find a way to let you know somehow. I wanna see your smiling face 45 years from now. Holding the lights on stage every night, I've been reaching out to find a friend who knows all the words, sings all she's heard, and knows how all the stories end. And after the show, she'll ask me to go home with her for a drink or two. Her smile lights her eyes, honey, all I see is you. And I just wanna hold you closer than I've ever held anyone before. You say you've been twice a wife and you're through with life, but honey, what the hell's it for? After 23 years, you think I could find a way to let you know somehow. I wanna see your smiling face 45 years from now. And I just wanna hold you closer than I've ever held anyone before. You After 23 years, you think I could find a way to let you know somehow that I want to see your smiling face 45 years from now. Yes, I want to see your smiling face 45 years from now. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that song. It's always been it's one of those ones that people have their people always ask you what your favorite song to play is, and that's definitely one of my top echelon of songs. It always just I don't know, spoke to me. So we're gonna throw a bonus song in. I'm gonna throw one we haven't talked about. So I learned this song. This is the newest one for me, because I only learned this last week, and I was compelled to learn this song because I wanted to play the guitar part. I wanted to learn the figure, and then I started learning the words, and then I realized what I was going through with at that point in my life a couple of weeks ago, that I was just losing my dad, and this song, the words, it was like the words were talking to me, because it was a song that I'd been hearing all my life, but I never really sat down and let the words kind of sink in. And when I finally did, and I learned that song, it was like there was some power telling me to learn this song at the moment. Hopefully I've learned it enough here to play it today. Anyway, it's Dust in the Wind by Kansas. Anywhere I go wrong on this arrangement now, I'm sure Brian will set me straight.
I'm right behind you.
I know all the words, Arthur.
Oh, good.
That's fine.
I close my eyes, only for a moment, but the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes, a curiosity, dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Same old song, just a drop of water in the endless sea. All we do crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Don't hang on. Nothing lasts forever but the earth and sky. It slips away. All your money won't another minute by. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind.
Arthur O'Brien, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Brian.
Stay safe. See you soon.
And there's Aiden. Sorry, Aiden. Say hi.